Bonjour everyone. When you will see this video, it will be probably something like 4 p.m. for you. But for me, it's 5 a.m. and I am truly exhausted. But do not worry, I still have some videos for you. And specifically today, we are going to talk about the Su-85B. Not necessarily because it's an outstanding tank, but rather because it's perfect for killing younglings or people that are just starting the game. And here is why. We all know how Russians are the perfect nation for people that are just started. But did you know that it's also the perfect nation to bully people? And the Su-85B is the best example of that, simply because of its gun. The gun mounted on that thing for its tier is just perfect. It's a tier 6 gun with which you will have truly a lot of fun. The aim time is just crazy, 2.7 seconds, plus the gun dispersion, the accuracy is just out of this world. The 0.32 for tier 4, usually knowing that they have 0.36 to 0.37, plus the DPM that is not necessarily that bad, sitting at nearly 1k, makes it one of the greatest guns you can find at tier 4. On top of that, the penetration will never be a problem with this tank because with your gold shell you can climb up to 170 millimeters, and trust me, even with your regular sitting at 130, it's more than enough. For the rest of the tank, maybe that the only downside it actually has is the lack of gun depression because it's sitting at only 5 degrees. But truly, if you put that aside, the gun is just a blessing, specifically at that tier. For the engine, you have a truly mobile tank for its tier, which means that you can relocate pretty easily. But it comes to a price, you do not have any armor. And even if you will have the possibility of bouncing some stuff from time to time, specifically in your gun mantlet, most of the time, people will penetrate you. But there's a catch. You also have the possibility of bouncing if you angle your tank correctly, because as you can see, this little plate at the front is already angled, which means that if you try to put your tank in a position from which the upper part of the hull is even more angled, for example on a hill, a slope or something like that, then you will probably be able to bounce even more. But let's put that aside and just take a look at what this tank has in its stomach. So to do this, you see that we are quite lucky on the matchmaking because we are sitting only against tier 4. And yeah, at tier 4 you are playing against mostly newbie players, except if you have above 5k battles, because when you do, you actually fight only people that have more than 5k battles. But if you're a reroll, you already know that the Su-85B is the tank to go if your goal is to Seal Club. So just take a look at this. We were the first one to get to the battlefield, to the center of the map, even before the other light tanks like the M5 Stuart. It tells a lot about the mobility of that tank, because I did not lie, you are quite mobile. And just take a look at how easy it is to relocate. I went first at the lower part of the hill, seeing that there is no one, so I'm trying my luck somewhere else. And right now things are going to be fun, because the alpha damage on that thing truly allows you to be impactive on the matchmaking. Just take a look at this poor Matilda, one of the most armored tier 4 ever, taking 163 damage. If I manage to sneak 4 shells like that, it's over for the Matilda. But of course, this tank is not invincible. You still have to learn a lot and to place yourself correctly. You do not have any armor, which means that you don't want to be at the center of the battlefield. So in order to do well, you take some distances. You play that second line, let's say, because you see that when we take a look at my team composition and specifically where all my friends are, you see that even if I'm probably the most advanced one, I'm the least focused by the enemies. We still have the AMX-40 right there, the Cruiser 4 that is trying something and just got hit, unfortunately. And well, all of those little things and all of those placements from my team allows me to push forward. So there we go, we stick another one and we pull back. Minutes into the game and already 450 damage. We are gonna take a shot here, and I knew I was gonna take a shot, but I truly wanted to get rid of that heads up. And you also saw that I took a bounce. Now is that, as I told you, when you angle the upper plate of your armor by going on a hill, either down a hill or up a slope, you will be able to bounce shells because it's artificially gonna increase your armor. And this is exactly what happened here. And that was probably for the best because, well, when you're playing at tier 4, you do not have a lot of hit points. So now let's see what we can do. We are once again using our mobility to relocate, and I see that my teammates decide to play quite aggressively, specifically that M3 Lee that tried something not necessarily worth it, let's say. And we are going to try to push forward and maybe be a good support for the rest of my team. In order to do that, I had to take shots, and the 5 degrees of gun depression did not allow me to get them from the previous position I was on. So what we're going to do is we are going to try to outmaneuver them by going ourselves in a place from which we will be able to surprise them. So there we go. I know that there is the Matilda right there, but also the M7, but I really want to get rid of the Matilda. And I'm thinking, okay, the guy is not taking a look at me, and oh boy, was I wrong. He saw me arriving, and once again, we got lucky that we managed to bounce the Matilda shell because we angled our tank, allowing us to sneak another one. And here I did a mistake. I totally forgot that I had adrenaline equipped on that tank. It's not necessarily going to be a problem because in the end we are going to be able to save ourselves thanks to the AMX-40, but still, if I used adrenaline, maybe that I would have been able to kill the Matilda without taking so many shots in the first place. And now we're going to keep going. Now we realize that we have adrenaline and we are using it to maximize the potential DPM we can get on that M7 that unfortunately went AFK. Unfortunately for the enemies, of course, because for me, it's just the perfect threat. So, bang! Bye, fella. 2 kills already in our countdown, and now we are heading for the third one with that ETSA. You're gonna see that beside the amazing tank that the Su-85B is, it's also depending on your RNG and specifically the kind of matchmaking you're on. For example, here I was lucky that 2 guys out of the enemy team crashed, but it happens quite a lot at tier 4. Usually what happens with players is that they first get into the game, they play till tier 3, tier 4 to see if they like the game, and after they just either stay on the game if they see that they have the right connection and also that they do enjoy the game, or they just leave middle game like it's the case here out of nowhere because finally the game is not interesting for them or they do not care yet about statistics. So in definitive, the Su-85B is a great tank if your goal is to bully people and have some fun when you're kind of pissed about tier 10 matchmaking or things like that. I'm not gonna make you wait any longer because we never found that poor Cruiser 4, and unfortunately for us, you're gonna see that we were quite unlucky. We were trying to capture sitting at 97 out of 100 and we got the battle time expired. Things happens, guys. We do not care. We still got the ace tanker and that's all that matters. So yeah, if you are looking for something to have some fun but also to get some medals, because after all we all enjoy having a good dashboard, then it would be a good idea for you to get the Su-85B. So hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you also share the exact same opinion I have about the Su-85B. If it's the case, feel free to subscribe, like and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.